Hello everyone and welcome to our solution to question 11 of our mock 1 examination. In this particular question, we were required to determine the rent expense and accrual that is going to be included in the company's financial statements for the year ended. Now, we are told that a company pays its rent quarterly in arrears on 1st of January, 1st of April, 1st of July, and 1st of October each year. The rent was increased from 90 million to 120 million per year as from 1st of October 2019. And definitely, as I've mentioned, we were required to determine the rent expense and the accrual that should be included in the company's financial statements for the year ended 31st of January 2020. So issues to note here is that quarter, when they talk about payment of an expenditure quarterly, that means that that expenditure is paid every 3 months. After 3 months have passed, a payment is made. That is number one. Number two is the fact that accruals would amount to expenses that have been incurred in the financial year, but cash has not been paid to settle those obligations or those expenses. So they become obligations or they become what we call accrual. So what is the accounting treatment here? Accruals are supposed to be indicated in the statement of financial position as current liabilities, whereas the rent that is recognized in the statement of profit or loss must include both the cash paid to settle that obligation or that expenditure and any expenditure that remains, and any portion of that expense that remains unpaid at the end of the financial year. So we have to include both the cash paid and the accrual in the expenditure that's going to be indicated in the statement of profit or loss. So straight away going into our solution. So our solution to question 11, which we are required to determine the rent expense. We are required to determine the rent expense and the accrual to be included in the company statement of financial position. Now, the rent expense, of course, will be indicated in the company statement of profit or loss, whereas the accrual, as I've mentioned, will be included in the statement of financial position as a current liability. So in our solution, we begin with step number 1, where we are going to determine the monthly rent. So we need to first of all determine the monthly rent because we are told that rent is paid quarterly. So in step number 1, we are going to first of all determine the old monthly rent. So we have 90 million that has been that is the old rent that we have been paying for the year. So divided by the 12 months, we shall get 7.5 million per. This is now per month. Okay, that's the rent per month. And then the new monthly rent, we are told that the rent was increased from 90 million to 120. So we divide by 12 to give us the new rent per month of 10 million. Right. So after getting the monthly rent, we move into step number 2, where we compute the quarterly rent for the year. Okay, the quarterly rent. Now, of course, using the old quarterly rent rate, we shall have the 7.5 million that we have determined here in step number 1 times the 3 months that make up a quarter, and that gives us 22.5 million. Because of the increase of the rent from 90 million to 120 million per annum, the new monthly rent for the quarter is going to be 10 million times 3 months, and that gives us 30 million. So after computing my new rate, my rates per quarter, both for the old rent and the new rent per month, I now move into step number 3 to determine the rent expenditure for the year and the accrual that's going to be included in the statement of financial position. So using some rows and columns here, I'll show the status, and then I'll be showing the rent per quarter. Now, of course, quarters, as we are told, rent is paid on the 1st of January, 1st of April, and 1st of October. So it means that for the year 2019, I'll begin computing from February, because the financial year of this company ends on the 31st of January of every year. So it means that the financial year starts from February. So for the new financial year 2019, from February to March, that's going to be definitely the 22 million, okay, times 2/3. Why 2/3? Because January is off, okay, because that one is in the old financial year. So that gives me an expenditure of 15 million for that period, February to March. Now, from April to June, that is definitely a full quarter where we are going to pay the old day rate of 22,500,000. And then from July to September, that is a full quarter. Again, we shall pay our 22.5 right there. And then from October to December, we are going to pay the new rate, okay? We are going to pay the new rate of 30 million right there. Then again, the financial year has not yet ended. As you have mentioned, the financial year ends ends on every 31st of January of the following year. So for purposes of this question, the financial year will end on the 31st of January 2020, and definitely that is 1 month, okay? Definitely that month of January to make a full financial year, we shall get the quarterly rent of 30 million times 1 month over the 3 months that make up a quarter, and that gives us the 10 million. Now, why is my figure here in blue? I'm going to indicate why it is in blue in the status. Now, let us look at all these expenses in the year. Now, the status for the 15 million, the first 15 million here, definitely that money has been cleared, that has been paid, because we are told that on the 1st of April, payment is made for the rent. So we believe that 15 million has already been paid. And then again, for this second expenditure has been paid. That one we are very sure. Similarly, for January to September has been paid. October to December has been paid. So the rent to 31st of January 2020 has not yet been paid. Why? Because we expect it to be paid on the 1st of April 2020, okay? On the 1st of April 2020, that's when it is going to be paid. So it is accrued, and definitely in total, if I total up and make use of my calculators, the total rent for the year comes to 100 million right there. And definitely the accrual is the 10 million. So that is why in the solution given for our mock examination, the answers are the accrued rent is 10 million and the rent expense is 100 million.